Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tea Time Conversations. I'm your host, Melody Dixon. Today's tea is a revitalized tea, and this includes warming spices like cardamom, cinnamon, ginger. Very fragrant, especially with the cardamom. And this is an anti-inflammatory tea because of all those ingredients. Whenever you put those ingredients together anywhere, it reduces inflammation. It's a beautiful, almost like a sunset yellow color. Smells great. Just the cardamom and the ginger together. Just the right amount of sweetness. I use agave syrup instead of sugar. It's just a natural sweetener. Put a teaspoon and a half or so, depending on how herbaceous or bitter the tea is, and that works for me. I get the hot water and I steep the tea bag for about up to 10 minutes. I may reheat it sometimes if I get distracted or busy, but it's worth it because the tea gets more of the goodness out of it. That's what I believe. Yum, yum, yummy. Let's see where I can put this safely. So today I'm going to talk with you about thirst, because on the page it is Thirst Quenching Tuesday. And so what I do is I'll post information on keeping yourself hydrated and great ways to do so, fun ways, interesting ways to do so. So I'm going to use that topic today and talk about thirst for success. Traditionally, when you're thirsty, you have a strong desire in you to drink something. Your mouth gets dry, your voice gets kind of hoarse sometimes. According to the island people, they may feel parched, and that's a signal that you need to be drinking something, some kind of liquid. I recommend water for quenching your thirst, but people often drink juice or soda. Does your body feel like the thirst is quenched when you drink any of those? It does, but it's a different feeling than if you drink water. And it's a different benefit than if you drink water. But that's for a whole nother wellness show. The topic today is the act of being thirsty and what that means. So physically, we know what that means. It's a desire to put liquid in your mouth, in your body. When you have a thirst for success, you have a strong, relentless desire to appear successful or to see evidence of success in whatever it is you're doing. So for some people, success may look like lots of money coming in. For some people, success may look like lots of time. You have more time to do your own thing when you want, how you want, from wherever you want. They call that the laptop life. And that could be evidence of success. The big house like the Joneses, nice car, or not even nice car, a particular kind of car, a particular brand of car, because you could have a nice Toyota Corolla, but you could also have a Maybach. So what would be deemed by society as success? The Maybach over the Corolla. You may use the term wheels up. That means you have a private jet, wheels up in 1 hour, you're flying off to somewhere. That's success for some people. And we unfortunately get the success ideas or what represents success from our culture, from our society. We all agreed, if y'all haven't read the The Four Agreements. Read that book. We all agreed in our culture, in our society, that success should look this particular way. And those who think differently are like whack jobs, who are on some woo-woo type of stuff. That's not true. Success is a feeling that you get in your inside, that you're thirsty, whether it's a metaphorical thirst for success or a literal thirst for water. You are the one that get that feeling, and you have the opportunity to manifest how that shows up for you. You can decide how that shows up for you. Unfortunately, with the way we are in the world, we have a lot of pressures from our family and our friends and our job that our success should look a certain way. If you get to be in your 30s, then you're like, okay, why aren't you married? Mid-30s, why don't you have children? I need grandchildren. Where's the husband? Or where's the wife? If you are in a group of friends, why aren't you able to travel XYZ with us? Where's all your money? What you doing with your life? There's a whole bunch of pressures. At work, if you're not the one being loud and look at me, this is what I can do, then you're not deemed as successful. That's just what society is doing now. Now, if you have some other experiences or know of other ways that society's success can show up, or they tell you it should show up looking this particular way, post it in the comments and let's talk about it. So that's how society thinks. They want us to show our success in a particular way so that they can see it, and then they can grade us and say sticky or wrong bang. That's my island people. For those not from the Caribbean, they'll say if you're correct or if you're wrong. This is, you're doing X, Y, and Z. It's visual to everyone. Everyone can judge it and say, okay, that's what the success should look like. And then so once you have all those boxes checked, you have the money, you have the wife, you have the house, you have the car, you can travel, you play golf, or you play tennis, or polo, then you're successful. That is a lie. A lie that we as a society perpetuate all the time. Now, I'm going to give you some ideas on what true success could look like for you. But the ultimate decision maker is you. So if you are the one that gets that desire, that thirst, you have an idea in your spirit what would quench that thirst. For me, it is having my own business that maintains my lifestyle comfortably and allows my family to have more choices, to go vacation, to travel, to buy things, or to just be comfortable knowing that the bills are taken care of and we can have fun. I also have a thirst for being creative. I make herb sage bundles, I make dream catchers. There's many more creativeness to me that is coming out, and my desire to do that, when I actually do it, the thirst is quenched. When I get customers to my business, my thirst is being quenched. When we have the opportunity to take vacation after working hours and hours on the job, my thirst is quenched. For some people, it could be just work during the week, and then on the weekend, spend hours and hours at the beach. That's their thing. What I said was my thing. Post in the comments what your thing is. I'm going to give you 3 ways to kind of know when you're successful. The first one involves being authentic to yourself. Be honest with yourself. If your thirst is for something that doesn't align with society, that is okay. You should not be burdened with society's expectations of you to do tricks, to perform, so you can show them that you're successful. Because if you do, inside your heart, you'll know that you're not being successful the way that you have a desire to be. And so you get depressed, you get tired, you start to not like the thing that you're doing. Gosh, a lot of people, famous people who you think are like so successful, they have all the monies, the houses, the cars, the attention, the paparazzi, they're famous, they're on TV, their clothes are on the runway, all of it. And they're sad inside. They're sad, depressed, and they end up killing themselves. I don't want that for you. So take these 3 steps and start a new chapter in your life. The first thing is to be authentic to yourself, however that shows up. Picasso was just a weirdo guy. His art was just nothing that was even created back in the time when he was alive. The artwork wasn't symmetrical, it wasn't curvy and sexy, it wasn't voluptuous like the artwork of the time. It was angular stuff. Part of somebody's face is different than the other part. It was like distorted images coming from his brain to the paper. But his work became famous and just national treasures, super expensive to buy. Could be because of scarcity now that he's not around, but also there's people who like his work. They connect to his work. They connect to the distortion and the figures and the shapes and the lines that he uses because he resonates with them or they resonate with him. And that is okay. He showed up authentically the way he is supposed to be. And so I encourage you to do that for yourself. It is such a gift. It is so freeing when you don't have to perform and try to be like the other person. That's why there's my example I always give to people who, when I talk about business and they're, I'm an event planner, they're an event planner, and I'm encouraging them and giving them tips. They're like wondering why I'm giving them, the tips that I should be holding back is what the gist of it is. And I'm like, no. Life is about abundance. God created us with abundance of thoughts and creativity and more life, more everything. And so I don't compete. I serve my customers how I serve them. And if there's somebody else who needs the tips that I have, I give it. Just, it can benefit them. It's okay. There's so many people in the world that have events. You go down the bread aisle, there's like 5 million types of bread. If you want to get even deeper, 5 million types of white bread versus wheat bread versus nut bread versus potato bread. Eggs, like brioche, egg-based breads. So many different types of breads. And then within those categories, there's so many different brands of white bread, so many different brands of brown bread, so on and so forth. And there's somebody who goes down the aisle that prefers a Jamaican yummy bread versus a Wonder bread, white bread. Me. Competition means you think that there's lack and that there's not enough. And so you have to do in order to grab before somebody else gets. And that's not what God is about, and that's not what life is about. So be your authentic self, however you choose to show up. Even if there's stuff like that already out, you do you. Number 2 is become fearless. Ignore your self-limiting beliefs. You may see all the other breads down the aisle and think, I have a desire to become a baker and bake a bread shaped like a flower. And, I'm nobody. Nobody knows me yet. How am I going to get my stuff into Publix? Just bake your bread. Bake your bread, put your flavorings on it, put your designs on it, and put it out there. You never know. You never know. And then you just go for it. You call a Publix and say, I created this new style of bread that is shaped like a sunflower, and I want to sell it in your store. What do I need to do? You don't just sit on the idea and do nothing with it. While you're talking to Publix, you're going to the farmer's market and having a display of your bread. You're putting up an online store. You're promoting it. You're going on Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives and getting your information out there, because you are quenching your thirst when you do that. When you're expanding your creativity, when you're showcasing your creative download, you're expanding your life. Don't make things that humans create be larger than your life. That is the basis of suffering. You're trying to do things to please people, or to fall in line, or to look like somebody else, or how society says you're supposed to look. Success and failure is not in the volume of money flowing into your life or the recognition. Your success shows up as you walking in joy. You can walk in joy as a baker who bakes bread that looks like flowers, and that's okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the information that I talked about in the next post so that you can have that, use that. Post in the comments what success looks like for you. I'm going to share what success looks like for me, and then we can start a conversation. I'm going to hang on here just for a few minutes more, finish up my tea here with my candle, and then I'll start my day. So I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7. Of course, I have to scoot over, get to the camera.